Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Henry Kissinger's Pokémon Going to Die, Not a Threat.
Just a fact.
I am your host, Patrick, aka Krapot Pinball.
Hey, I'm Eddy, aka Kareem Abdul Got Bars.
And I am Caroline, aka Daughter Got Feederson.
Yeah, Eddy's back for an episode.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hey!
Hey, I was released from my hyperbolic time pod. I regained my memories, and I'm here to talk about the world of politics. It's back, baby. Lapel.
Woo. So I think we should start the show this week talking about the most pressing political issue facing us, and that is hashtag Free Roy.
We're going to be mobilizing a strike force to storm Twitter jail, wherever it is.
1 million strong to free the fuck Warlock.
Yeah, for those of you out of the loop, Roy got banned from Twitter for threatening to kill Ray Romano.
Apparently, in the Twitter terms of service, the phrase, "I'm going to kill you, Ray Romano," is not... It's verboten. Jack said no.
It is a very good thing to get banned for.
Yeah,
the Ray
sure.
Romano lobby is just too strong at Silicon Valley.
If I had to get banned from Twitter, one of the main ways I would do it would be threatening famous sitcom comedian Ray Romano.
Everybody loves him, so that's why you
It's
can't
true.
threaten to kill him.
It's true. If you, I'm sure Jack wants to hear from all of us. So just, with no prompt, just message at Jack on Twitter, free fuck Warlock, and I'm sure we can get a movement going.
It was very good when Huffington Post writer Ashley Feinberg just kept sending DMs to Jack Dorsey, Jack, delete the website. You still have time, delete the site, and then had an interview with him, and he was kind of confused and befuddled by those DMs. It was good.
And I'm gonna chain myself to the doors of Twitter headquarters.
Exactly one door.
Exactly one door, and I'm gonna yell and scream. They can ban me. I don't care. This is worth fighting for.
All right, should we talk about some actual politics that happened?
Yeah.
I mean, considering the politics that are on the docket this week, calling them actual politics is kind of a stretch.
That's fair.
But we could talk about the funny thing that happened this week, which is the Michael Cohen hearings or testimony, whatever that was.
Yeah, Michael Cohen was testifying before... Was this the Oversight Committee? Is that what the public one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the Intelligence Committee, but that one is not going to be held publicly, because I guess it's sensitive or whatever.
Yeah, show us the tapes. They exist.
Show us the tapes. Specifically one tape. With a yellow label.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually watch the Cohen hearings because, believe it or not, after sitting through 6 hours of the Kavanaugh hearings 4 months ago or however the fuck long
I
ago
did that
was,
too.
I can't do it to myself anymore, so now I get the bullet points from Twitter. What happened?
There's a guy named Michael Calamari. So he exists.
Oh,
Yeah?
I didn't know about that guy. Who is that guy?
Yeah, all I remember, it was in because I'm good a politics reporter. I only watched the clip of funny AOC interrogating him, and she's like, "Would you know if Donald Trump did this to something about evading taxes?" And he's like, "No, the guy who knows that is his name's William Calamari." And no one reacted to this.
Fucking JoJo ass name.
We can't talk about JoJo this early into the episode.
Yeah, I didn't watch the hearings either, but I read the opening statement that the New York Times published the night before, and there are two things I would like to touch on in that opening statement. And again, it's all a big nothing. They're not gonna. This is a well, nevertheless, as it always has been and always will be. But one. Cohen was instructed on multiple occasions by the President of the United States to threaten various high schools and colleges and also the organization, the College Board, to not release his grades and SAT scores.
It rules! That's so good!
And two, Michael Cohen's hackles were raised. The spidey sense went off that something maybe was screwy going on with the Russia meeting with Don Jr. because he saw Don Jr. being allowed to speak to Donald Sr., a person who has waxed poetically in the past to Michael Cohen just endlessly about how Don Jr. has the worst judgment of anyone in the world. Famously before in Donald's first wife's autobiography, Ivana said that she proposed naming Donald Jr. like Donald Jr. to Trump, and he was like, we can't name him that, what if he's a loser? So, I mean, just lots of psychology going on there in that relationship. Yeah.
If you, know your SAT score, you're a nerd. Mm-hmm. I don't, listen, the day before I took my SAT, I went to a World Inferno Friendship Society concert, and I got back at 3 a.m, and I went to a school I didn't go to take the SAT, and look at me now. I'm a podcaster. So,
the American dream.
If that's something you're worried about, don't even consider it. I can't vouch for his idiot son, though.
Speaking of threatening, who was that? I think he's a congressman who tweeted to Michael Cohen, threatening his family.
Gatz? I don't know. There's a lot of vowels in his last name, I think. But
yeah,
he's a Trump guy.
Essentially, the point of his tweet was just hey, Michael Cohen, you better think twice before testifying against our good president, or else I'll have to tell your wife you're cheating on her or whatever. I mean, literal, actual witness tampering, just right there on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
My dude is flipping, though. He's just giving up names left and right. It's so delicious.
Yeah, he's... Absolutely. I think he's still, or he was as of yesterday, still listed on the GOP website as their co-finance chair or whatever.
Oh,
friend
cool.
of the show.
Yeah, something funny I know that happened in the hearings was a Republican Congressman, Mark Meadows, basically said Mr. Cohen, it's impossible that Trump said all these horrible, awful, racist things about black people that he obviously said because he employed this black woman here. And then Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib was like, that is... Mark Meadows, you have done something racist here to imply that someone who has interacted with a black person in any non-hostile capacity at any time is not a I don't know how to pronounce that word, but virulent racist. And he just got extremely mad, red, nude, and online in the congressional hearing chambers. Emphasis on the red. I think he started sobbing. I'm not sure. I didn't watch any of this, but this is what I've gathered from reports of what happened.
And I go ahead.
Very, common tactic. One time, prompted by nothing, my mom just told me that she can't be racist because my dad is a Puerto Rican guy. So, I mean, it's sound logic, you can't argue with the facts. So.
Yeah, I guess
I might just be getting story wires crossed here, but is this not the same woman who then just recently made a statement saying that Trump tried to assault her? Is that a different lady?
I assume it would have to be. But
okay. I mean, it would make sense that it's a different person because you can't get that much news all at once.
No.
Nevertheless.
Yeah, he keeps going and it's not gonna change anything.
No.
It's an interesting diversion. I think at this point, congressional hearings are just kind of Coliseum battles.
Yeah.
One pops up and I'm doing, this ought to be good. And then, forgetting about it 2 days later, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just gonna be this forever, just posturing for the base. And, just trying to be the person screaming the loudest and crying the most tears on the floors of Congress.
Yeah.
Because you're being broadcast on national television. Yeah, it's fine.
Y'all hear about the Oscars?
Folks, movies are back. They're here to stay, and the stars were out on Sunday night. Live from the red carpet. It's Sunday night, and let me tell you, the right
lights,
movies
camera,
won.
Action.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Man won Best Movie of the Year.
It did.
And folks are loving it.
Everybody loves it this year.
My only like relation to Green Book is that Jesus and Miro make fun of it all the time. So I actually don't know the the details of this film. But it's very funny to me that it won.
Yeah. It's I mean, it is very funny that it won. I think this might be the first year in at least a long time where I still haven't seen any of the Best Picture noms. Like, normally I see, like, at least one or two.
I saw the Sexy Fish movie last year. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I saw
damn,
Fish movie.
Del Toro, he did it again.
Bird. Probably at least one other. I saw like 3 to 4 movies this year, and none of them got nominated for anything. So fuck the two Academy.
Yeah, it's what they get for not letting me host their fucking award show.
They didn't want it to be controversial, so they had to tone it down this year.
Yeah. So here's a story that like somehow I never even saw like making headlines. Like I saw it on TV, but never on Twitter, which is where I get most of my news because I'm hashtag millennial. You guys hear about this Coast Guard guy who is gonna like do a bunch of terrorism?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me more.
Oh, hold on, let me find his
He
name.
had an Excel document, just like a list of a bunch of various political figures, like politicians, like Ocasio-Cortez, Pelosi, like media figures, and then there was one slot that was just the DSA.
Yeah.
Cool guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was, I guess, ex-Coast Guard now from Maryland, and he just had this stash of, like, dozens of guns and tons of ammo and stuff. You know, a very healthy and well-adjusted individual who definitely should have had access to that sort of weaponry. But, I mean, I guess good news is that they stopped him. Like, they caught him before he did anything.
Yeah, there is kind of an interesting asymmetry. I did see this from a couple of people who, like anti-fascist people who have been tracking this on Twitter. Usually the FBI will, like a massive bust like this of like a thwarted terror attack, they will have like a big press release about it. There was certain, because it makes them look good, you know. But there was a very soft media rollout this time because it wasn't like an easily manipulated Muslim teenager that they kind of like set up an entire terror plot for specifically them instead of thwarting an existing terror plot. It's like a white guy in the military who's trying to do white supremacy race war, so it's kind of not their favorite thing to talk about, the FBI.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this is a guy, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, he was, I mean, this is not going to come as a surprise to anybody, but he was like a big Fox News chud. And it's just kind of another story of this like indoctrination that people keep getting force-fed.
Like, every time this happens, again, it's just like, I know we live in like hyper time, but it's like, yeah, some Coast Guard guy said he was going to kill everyone and the entire DSA, and he was really going to do it. Anyway,
yeah.
Like, I didn't even know about it.
I know, I mean, again, because of the racism, it didn't get like a ton of coverage, but it's weird almost that it didn't. Like, I figure at least some more like left-ish leaning outlets would have picked it up and like ran with it, but they didn't.
Yeah, people have been talking about this in Portland, like the local leftist activism scene, because recently this isn't a national news story, but I think like a couple weeks ago, it came out that this person who is in charge of this organization, Patriot Prayer, which is one of these...
I already like it.
Yeah, you already are on board. Not like as explicitly like racist and fascist as like the Proud Boys, but a similar type of thing where it's sort of like you know, these militant chuds that are sort of hew more towards the Trump side than like the Pepe side. But like over the past year or so, that they've been like basically trying to stir up protest in heavily left-wing cities like Portland and Seattle, and like busing people from some of the more rural areas and out of state to they're trying to bait anti-fascists into fighting them so they can like beat people up. There was a couple incidents like that last summer, one of which the police like almost killed somebody by throwing a grenade at their head or something like that. There was like you may have seen stuff like that on Twitter, photos from the hospital of a guy with a helmet and like this massive projectile embedded it, like the police shot him at it. It's great. Another thing that happened at that rally was they found a bunch of these, like 5 or 6 of these Patriot Prayer people on the top of a roof with a bunch of rifles. And they said they were just like watching in case like something went south, and the police were just like, "Oh, okay, keep doing what you're doing," and just like
the boys and then
they probably said maybe like put the guns away, but they didn't actually take them, or it was just like, "Well, see you later." Pretty much.
Could you not? Maybe. All right.
Anyway,
take her easy.
We get to today. Like this month, and it turns out that the leader of Patriot Prayer has been texting very friendlily back and forth with the police chief or sergeant in charge of like crowd control, so the head of the riot cops, and like the head of the riot cops was like informing the guy in charge of a bunch of violent fascists, like, hey, by the way, like there's this protest of like LGBT people over here and the police isn't going to that, so just so you guys know, stuff like that. And then over the past week there's been incidents of like these right-wing chuds are just getting more and more worked up. There have been several queer people and trans people who have been physically assaulted while walking alone within the past couple weeks by chuds like yelling slurs. And so like the Coast Guard story is getting a little more traction here because and then some Patriot Prayer person like pulled a gun outside a DSA meeting last month, something like that, like lots of stuff like this. So people here are getting scared because people here are getting targeted personally, but it's definitely not getting like the national news coverage. And another part of it is the Coast Guard guy was Googling like terms like civil war or like what will happen if like Trump impeached and stuff like that. So it's a connection to like the right-wing media machine that's feeding these talking points to these violent people, which is good.
Sir, we found who is every single member of the DSA in your search history, and then you immediately look for how to kill every member of the DSA online, please Google. So we're beginning to suspect that someone went on your computer and looked for these terms without your knowledge. Is this true?
It was a deep state conspiracy.
They're after him.
Some keys were pressed at this time, searching how to kill entire Democratic Congress. We will be more information relayed of how these keys were pressed at this time.
No, we don't know what's in his heart. So
correct.
You know.
I mean, it's not news, obviously, but like it's always great to hear exactly how on board with out and out like racists and fascists the police all over the country are. Like they never once like stray from that path at all.
The thing about the cops and the Klan is that they go hand in hand everywhere.
Listen, did you ever see? Listen. The thin blue line, you know, that's what they say. To me, it should be the thick blue line, because have you ever seen a sexy-ass cop shaking it on TikTok?
Why are all those cops doing that on TikTok? Patrick, aren't you a TikTok historian? You shed light on this phenomenon of the TikTok cops?
There's a ton of cops and there's a ton of like military people, and I think it like they started quasi ironically, like they'd post a video in uniform or whatever, and then a bunch of people would like salute in duets to it. But then I think, like all good things on the internet, the irony turned into sincerity. So now you just have a bunch of like teenage boys unironically hero worshipping some shitty cop from Minnesota doing nothing except harassing people on camera.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a good app. It's a good profession to be the TikToking policeman.
It goes in your benefits package when you retire. You get a TikTok account with 1 million followers. and then you get to do a funny dance to like a Cardi B song, and then you're good cop.
That's all it takes.
I'm picturing one of those memes that's like a large wolf feathered with a million arrows, like standing over a wolf that doesn't have any arrows in it, and the large wolf is just cops making TikTok on the clock, and then the other wolf is ungrateful citizenry.
Our officers put on this uniform every day so they can go out and do the work no one else wants to do.
You got a boyfriend? I bet he doesn't kiss you.
So what else is happening? Let's see. Oh, yeah, of course, there's the looming threat of thermonuclear war in South Asia.
Well, less looming now, but
Yeah, that's true.
seemed real bad for a second there.
As of today, it looks like tensions are being sort of de-escalated, but it looked grim for a while.
Did I miss an entire like global near catastrophe?
Yes,
Kind of,
you
yeah.
missed a near thermonuclear war between India and Pakistan and over
Yeah,
tensions in
so-
Kashmir.
Yeah, so what
It's
happened
fine
was,
now,
I'm not
but,
sure.
I mean,
I'm not sure exactly when, but sometime between a few days and a few months ago, in Kashmir, an Indian like police station, I believe, was bombed and it killed over 40 people. And in retaliation, the Indian military just this last weekend bombed a base in Pakistan, and then one of their planes crashed over Pakistan. But as of today, one of the surviving pilots is being returned to India, and it seems like things have never been like cool in Kashmir, but it seems like it's returning to its state of not imminently killing everyone on the planet.
All right.
Yeah. In
Look where
case
that's going.
for those who don't know, India and Pakistan both have nuclear weaponry, and so obviously it's an area to watch for conflict that could spiral out of control.
it's very cool to look back on the history of the Cold War and see all the times where it's like, yeah, we almost blew up the whole planet here, but this one middle management Russian guy like made like the wrong call, so that didn't happen. So it's just constantly happening all the time. Good to know about.
Right.
And the
Just
US just
one-
pulled out of the International Nuclear... I don't remember the acronym for the... we just pulled out of a major nuclear treaty, didn't we?
Oh yes, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, it's gonna bother me now. But yeah, and if you're looking for an ultimate source of this tension between Pakistan and India, you can blame our good friends, the British.
Oh, you what?
Because of course, back during the Raj, they fucked up, an entire people. That's cool.
It always goes back to those fucking jammy Dodgers or whatever they're called.
They're what is it? Damn it! This
But
is
also,
gonna be
but also Pokemon live there now, so it's
Yeah.
impossible to say if it's good or not.
the Galarians. I think that's what the region is called, right?
hmm
Yeah. Pokemon real and strong and my friend.
Sobble is my friend.
Sobble
You gotta
good.
pick Sobble.
Grookey good. The other one good.
I wish that Grookey wasn't called that.
It's not a good
Yeah,
Because
it
it
is.
sounds like a creature that would that I fucking see a Grookey when I'm having sleep paralysis. Like, not a funny little green grass monkey. So I don't know. I'll get in touch with Game Freak and see if we can call him something else.
All right. Good luck with your endeavor. So you all are probably aware of this. I mean, this was headline news. But Dianne Feinstein was terrible to a bunch of shitty kids. Or no, sorry.
My
The
favorite
kids weren't
senator.
shitty. She was shitty. Yeah. Classically good. Always on the right side of history, Dianne Feinstein.
She keeps getting elected, though. She said it.
They love her.
That is true. She's been
Don't we
elected.
love our Dianne Feinstein, folks?
We love her. Friend of the show, Diane, come on, HKIP. Yeah, so there was a bunch of kids who went to her office to basically be like, hey, can you do something about climate change so we don't all die?
She said absolutely not.
And she was the Delta representative talking to John Mulaney about his misflight.
Yeah.
Can you please do anything to stop climate change? No! Okay.
Can I please live to age 40? No!
Okay, I'm gonna sit here and eat
Apparently,
this fucking Panera bread. And
apparently, though, Feinstein was in the process, and I guess she mentioned this on the video that was circulating. Feinstein was in the process of drafting like a more "quote unquote" like passable climate bill than the Green New Deal. But after everyone said "fuck you, Dianne Feinstein, we're all gonna die this week," she has scrapped it. So that some good came out of it there, and also not. I mean, like, this contributes to it because it got a lot of media coverage, but not specifically the Dianne Feinstein protest, but there were also the same movement, the Sunrise Movement, did a bunch of protests outside other senators' office, including some Republicans and also a friend of the show, Mitch McConnell. And up until this week, Mitch McConnell has been talking about how he, like, wants to vote on the Green New Deal soon because it seems like, you know, an obvious like slam dunk for like the deep red base,
Right.
like opposition to like the loony left or whatever. But now, Mitch McConnell is sort of like walking that back. And the most recent thing he said was, "We're going to look at it sometime before the August recess." So it's the outrage over climate is really. I think it's not really becoming less partisan, but it's becoming more urgent just across. Because people like fucking Dianne Feinstein, who's what? Isn't she? How old is she?
She's like 80 something.
She's really old. All of these people are very old and very rich, and they just have no idea of the scale of how angry and freaked out and depressed young people are all the time about the imminent death of every living thing on the planet within our lifetimes.
Yeah.
maybe if millennials picked up their pants and used fucking wooden straws, you know, we wouldn't have to come to this. But
on a similar note, 6 Republicans were just assigned to the House Climate Change Committee, only one of whom actually believes in climate change. So that's cool.
It's good.
yeah, you gotta reach across the aisle. And,
Gotta hear both sides. Listen,
both sides. Gotta hear both sides.
I
The New York
personally...
this is just today, but the New York Times literally did a both sides on today on climate change today. They phrased it as, hold on, I'll pull up the tweet. I think I interrupted someone. Sorry. So continue with that. Well,
yeah, I was just gonna say, listen, while we personally might think that drowning and like being suffocated by the air is a bad thing, maybe it's not. Have you ever considered that?
maybe it's good. All right.
Maybe it is good.
Here we go. NewYorkTimes.com. How the weather gets weaponized in climate change messaging. Both climate advocates and deniers of global warming are increasingly using bouts of extreme weather to support their positions. Welcome to the weather wars. Thanks.
Thank you, the
Damn,
great lady of the New York Times.
I got my rain cannon, and I'm here to fucking go to war against everyone who says it's fine. You know, it's
pretty
good. It's no
much.
problem. The president said it was cold one day. So like, where's global warming when you need it? You know?
I can confirm
It's never
has
there
been
when you
cold
need it.
today.
It did snow today. It's fucking March and it's snowing here. So you know, incredibly, it snowed on my birthday last year. That was March 21st. So we're in...
That's my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday to me and your dad. Let's get another snow day going. Let's get those hearts going for a snow day in March.
All right. So, okay, this is another story, and it's not exactly like huge political news, but a bunch of us thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about. It was like interviews with Facebook moderators. Have you guys seen this article?
Oh yeah, this was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, so there's been like several think pieces about like this in the past, like the job of doing content moderation on Facebook. This specific article was about a particular company that contracts out moderation for Facebook, which is most of what the moderation is done by.
Right.
And it talks about how the people who are doing the content moderation, first they have to like identify whether it's bad or not, and then they have to identify like what specific rule it's breaking. Then there's a person above them who only makes $1 more an hour than they do, who decide whether their decision was valid or not. And if it wasn't valid, then they like lose a point, and it's like they have to keep their points up. And Facebook has like an average goal system, and just all this dogshit labor stuff on top of what the actual work is, which a lot of the time is looking at just horrific gore and snuff videos and hate speech, Holocaust denial, all
some really dark shit
just all day. And
and in it, it's like no one lasts at the company for like more than a year or something because they like can't deal with this shit.
Right. I mean, like, how could you even? If you just had to go watch traumatic shit for 8 hours a day, every day for your entire life, like, there's no way you could get through that and still be like,
even
okay.
In addition to like the work, it's like the conditions are like you get 7 minutes to go to the bathroom, and there's one bathroom for like 800 employees.
Here's their salary: 200. Absolutely not 200. Sorry, $28,800 a year.
Mm-hmm. That's like, it's not worth it, bud.
It is a problem to think about, like, the scale of these online, like, social media platforms and, like, the scale of, like, the worst shit that people are constantly uploading to. Like, how do we... I have no idea how we deal with that just as a society.
Yeah, I think it is going to, especially as these platforms continue to expand and evolve, going to become, like, a really big deal. Like all of that sort of cultural hand-wringing about Dungeons and Dragons and Harry Potter or whatever, but for real this time, it has the possibility to, like, seriously psychologically damage someone. There were some other articles in, like, recent weeks of people with this same job, like moderating Facebook content, who had started out as, like, normal people, but through, like, repeated exposure had started, like, trending towards white nationalism and, like, flat eartherism and, like, conspiracy shit. Because, like, if you're just exposed to it constantly and endlessly, it's gonna get in.
And it's all you're seeing too, because you're probably not gonna
Right.
want to fucking go online and look at the internet after you look at the worst shit for 8 hours a day. But
And like, what are they making? 28,000 a year. Meanwhile, someone like at Facebook headquarters who makes like probably over $200,000 is getting paid that much to send me a thing. It's like, this happened to you 7 years ago, and it's a picture of like, I crushed a can of Pepsi, and the caption's like, damn, I'm strong. Like, that is rewarded.
they have the actual salary of an average Facebook employee in the article, and it is $240,000 a year to do
Great.
that.
We love it.
We love to see it. Oh yeah, also about the psychological, how this particular contracting company mitigates psychological trauma is, in addition to your break time, you get 9 minutes of allotted wellness time in case you like see something like a fucking beheading video and you have to step out for like, you get 9 minutes. And it also says 2 Muslim employees were ordered to stop praying during their 9 minutes per day of allotted wellness time. Have to pray on the break, can't pray on wellness.
So is it 9 minutes a day or 9 minutes whenever you need
9 minutes a day.
Okay, cool. So if I watch one beheading, take a break for 9 minutes, and then come back and immediately see another one, I'm just fucked, yeah? Mm-hmm. Cool. Seems like a great system.
I mean, hey, it's up to you to manage your time how you want. You should have considered not being mad at it. Like, did you ever think of that? Look inward. It is wellness time, so take a good hard look at yourself.
Speaking of wellness, Sheldon Adelson is apparently doing pretty bad right now.
Yeah, dude.
His lawyer announced today that his health was in, quote, dire condition, and he was too sick to testify, which is, I mean, we try here on HKIP, we try to avoid celebrating the death of anybody, but Sheldon Adelson has just been
on our
an
podcast,
objectively
Henry
evil person.
Kissinger is Pokemon going to die. We try to avoid the celebration of death.
No, listen, it's not a celebration to say Sheldon Adelson is going to die.
I guess.
Because he is. Pretty soon, looks like. But yeah, Adelson, if you don't know, is a big Republican donor. And he's, I mean, probably like done more tangible damage to the wellness of every human on Earth than most people ever will. So it'll be, the world will be better without him in it. I'll say that much.
It says the friend of the show Google is telling me that his net worth is about $36.4 billion US.
Yeah.
That's fake, first of all. Second of all, fuck you.
Yeah. Sheldon Adelson also, his wife is a lady who was given the Medal of Honor, or Medal of Freedom, whichever is the civilian one, last year by our good president, alongside such incredible humans as Elvis.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, normally that stuff is given out for, like, great quote-unquote services to arts and culture or whatever. And, like, I understand the argument for Elvis, but Sheldon Adelson's wife is just married to a guy who gave him a lot of money.
Yep.
Like, it's so transparent.
Elvis really should have considered that before he ate that fucking peanut butter and ham sandwich or whatever. Conked out.
It's a pretty fucked up sandwich.
I don't know if that's what it is, but that's as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly how Elvis died. He said, oh, and he took a big bite of his peanut butter and ham sandwich.
It was too dry, he choked.
And he flatlined on the toilet. Don't fact check me.
That's pretty much how it happened, I think.
Yeah, don't send us emails. That's factual.
Actually, Elvis died peacefully in his bed. No, he didn't. He was eating a nasty-ass sandwich when he expired.
Just the most dog shit sandwich.
Caroline, do you remember your good friend and nemesis, Jacob Wall?
I do remember him.
Oh, that was who you got into it with?
Yep.
Oh, that's so good!
Well, dear listener, Caroline won.
Hell
Because
yeah,
Jacob
bitch.
Wall is no longer on Twitter.
I mean, we, like, in the trade, it's a Pyrrhic victory because we did, like, Roy did get banned. So
Yeah, that is true.
we'll take this with a grain of salt, but it's still good to me.
Yeah, Jacob Wall got banned from Twitter basically because he's incredibly fucking stupid and went on record.
What did the Golden Boy do to get banned this time?
I don't remember which outlet was interviewing him, but he basically admitted on record that he was just making or planning to make a bunch of different bot accounts to influence elections. Like, he just said that, and that's explicitly against Twitter terms of service. So they just banned him.
Thinking of doing crimes today. Anyone,
Are
anyone
they
do
even
this?
Laura Loomer dating, or are they just like
No, I don't think they're
attached to each
dating.
other
They're
all
just
the time now?
on some sort of weird tour of the terminally online mad. I mean, because here's the thing. Laura Loomer is, let me figure this out. Oh, no, okay. She's 25. Jacob Bull is 21. I thought that was going to be weirder than it was. Still not great, but beside the point.
Jacob Wall, he's just like a Twitter guy, right? Like, he doesn't work for some publication.
No,
or...
he has a dad who does something, and I think the dad is also a Twitter guy. But that's how it. Yeah, I'll look up what his dad does. Hold on. But he's just
my employed dad.
Oh, that can't be right. David Wall is an American theater, television, and film character actor. No, it's got to be
Do I recognize this guy?
It's got to be another. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of his whole thing for a while. He got started on Twitter, and I think now he has, like, columns with, like, I don't know, Breitbart or Daily Storm or one of those other shitty things.
He was the youngest boy genius to ever be banned from the world of finance.
Yeah, permanently barred.
That's a lot of accomplishments, in a short period of time. So you gotta hand it to him.
Right now, he's on some campaign with Loomer at CPAC to oust Ilhan Omar for something or other. But they're just getting owned as they always do. Godspeed.
Oh, aren't they? I think I saw them, like, they were worried that Ilhan Omar was gonna, like, send dudes out to shoot them or something.
That would be pretty funny if that happens.
That would be very funny. Speaking of the SEC punishing idiots, did you guys see that Elon Musk?
Yeah.
The SEC asked that he be held in contempt for tweeting again.
You cut out for a second. I didn't hear.
Oh, the SEC asked that Elon Musk be held in contempt of court for doing more tweets.
Okay.
Because he was tweeting, he was talking about, like, Facebook, or not Facebook, wrong fucking evil company, Tesla production numbers, which is something that is obviously gonna, like, explicitly impact business, and that thus is illegal for him to do.
It's not against the terms of service, though. So he gets to keep doing it.
He is still on Twitter.
It was really funny in that Jack Dorsey interview, like a couple months ago, where he was like, it's interesting to see like how people use Twitter to like, I think the best people using Twitter right now are like Kanye West and Elon Musk, like two people known for
intended.
improving their careers by posting a lot, especially Elon Musk. Just doing great by making posts.
Earlier today, Hideo Kojima tweeted out a picture of him hanging out with churches backstage, and they were happy and smiling. And I'm like, damn, this website is good.
Hideo Kojima has such a good Twitter.
Did you see the other day he fucking tweeted about how he was scared of Big Bird as a kid because of his size and the way he walked?
No.
Anyway, back to Death Stranding.
I think maybe we're using Twitter wrong. I think Jack designed it. It's like a lament configuration. We're like actively supposed to be trying to ruin our lives with it.
My Twitter is currently locked because I don't want any of my students like looking me up and seeing me tweet some shit like, damn, like, oi gov, I'm Sobble, and I'm about to wreck you, mate. And then coming into class and being like, Mr. My name, what does this mean? The other day, one kid, he was like, hey, do you have a middle name? And I was like, absolutely not. Fuck off. So
that's such a good invasive kid question.
Yeah, and I was like, I actually don't. So I don't know if that makes me easier or harder to find, but I will never let these children see my protected tweets.
I think that's all the news that happened, unless you guys can think of more stuff.
Is that news?
That's news. It's Justin Bieber's birthday, apparently.
Happy birthday, Bieber.
Happy
Santa legend. Always
no,
good.
I'm not doing this again. There was an episode a while ago where I just fucking read CNN headlines. I'm not sinking that low again. If we have nothing to talk about,
let me just hop over to CNN real quick. It's breaking news. Latest videos. Yeah, no, nothing good here.
No.
All right.
Oh, NBA player plans to build a $100 million Iron Man suit.
That's okay. All right,
There's
that sounds
something
cool.
there.
I can get behind that.
Who's the player? Brooklyn Nets point guard Spencer Dinwiddie.
Is he allowed to wear it during basketball?
Let's see. He wants to do it when he retires, so...
Oh.
Damn. We're behind you, Spencer. GoFundMe Spencer Dinwiddie's Iron Man suit. And that's all the news today.
All right.
We got it.
Good news,
Good
gamers.
news.
I mean, it's all bad news.
Shit, who
but we
won
did
The
it
Masked Singer? Oh, I love news.
good. Wait, is that a competition? I thought it was just you guessed who it was.
Oh, it's a video. I'm not watching this shit. I thought The Masked Singer was gonna be, like, it's actual singers. Apparently it's based off of, like, a really popular Korean show.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it was gonna be, like, these are actual singers, and then you have to, like, figure out who they are. But it's just, like, vaguely famous people. Like, fucking Tony Kornheiser's on there, and, like, you don't know it's him. I didn't watch it, but I would have liked if it was for famous people that I know. And I was like, damn, is that Adele? I don't know. I don't know what she sounds like.
I've never heard an Adele.
I've never heard it. It was her this whole time.
All right. So, do you guys have Lightbringers? That thing we definitely didn't steal from anybody's podcast who's on the episode right now?
Huh? What?
What?
Who?
Who?
Who? I got one in my pocket.
All right. Go ahead. Hit us with it.
Oh, okay, so I've been trying to get better at the video game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is fun, but I'm very bad at it. So I've been trying to watch videos of, like, good players. But the thing is, all people on YouTube and, like, gamers are terrible. So that's kind of a challenge. And I found this one guy, I think his account is just JTails, is the name of his like YouTube account, and he puts up these really in-depth, like, guides and good videos, and you can tell he was also a teacher at some point just of how he talks.
Uh-huh.
He does that voice all the time, and it's just refreshing because anytime he gets beat, he's like, oh wow, that was a really good forward air from this player, and I'm like, wow, this is nice. So it's just good to see, like, a video game guy that is just pleasant and good to see.
It's wholesome.
So that's mine, and I have actually gotten better at a video game thanks to this man. So thank you, JTails, for your service.
I have one, and it's a medium that I don't think I've ever light brought on the podcast before. It's a book, believe it or not. Every once in a while, I still read things. It's called The Periodic Table by Primo Levi, who was an organic chemist and Italian Jewish man who was spent a lot of time in Auschwitz during World War II. But his book is, I don't really know how to explain it to people. He writes in a way that just kind of resonates with my brain a lot, and I like it a lot because he's like equal parts poet and scientist, which I think kind of marries together well for a really interesting reading experience. And this book, The Periodic Table, is a collection of like memoirs and short fiction pieces that are each named after an element on the periodic table, and they all sort of tie together for this overarching narrative that is very emotional, and it's really good. It's one of my favorite books that I've read in a very long time, and if you're interested, I would strongly suggest you check it out. It's not very big. It's pretty short. You can get through it in a couple days really easy. So yeah, check it out.
As soon as you said it was going to be a book, I thought you were going to drop a fucking fire and blood on me.
Oh, I do have that right in front of me.
I'm glad we didn't go down that route.
Yeah, so I not really a traditional light bringer, but I saw two really cool birds on campus over the past week. One is a Stellar's jay, which is bright blue with a black head, and it's very cool looking. I love it. And the other was a Cooper's hawk, which I guess doesn't look that different from a normal hawk, but it was cool to see a hawk up close. It's good. I like them. They're fun. They're my friends.
I want to give a sub Lightbringer to the lady working at the Au Bon Pain on my campus today, because I went and I was like, yo, can I get this bagel and coffee? And she said, the card reader's down, you can have it. And I said, sick, thank you so much.
Praxis.
Actually, I was going to get like 8 more bagels, is that cool? But I only took the one, so shout out to her.
She's good.
She's a real one.
We stand.
Yeah, comrade. So that is gonna about do it for us. If you would like to help us out and support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/HKIPGTD. If you give us $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun bonus content, and like audio and written Lightbringers. I think just last episode, Alex ended up putting a little bit of cut content onto the Patreon for everybody to listen to. So if you're interested in that, do it for $1. For $5 a month, you get a special role in our Discord, and you'll get a shout out every episode. And for $10 a month, you get an even specialer role, and also a shout out, and you get to listen to us live as we're recording, like 1, 2, 3 people are doing right now. Thank you all very much for your support. I lost my train of thought. Where's I going with this? Oh, I gotta read people's names, huh?
No, you go. You do all of them here.
Yeah, we do all of them.
We only do one.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So thank you to Actual Socialist Elon Musk, Alex Schaup, Benjamin Kingston Faria, Bryant, Burgermeister, Kadeho, David Besser, Destry Hawk. Oh, this is a new one. Dick Butt is the real Jesus. Dujane, right. Dr. Activisionary, Ellen the Anarcho-Lalondist, Evan, Feminine Murder Clown, Flo Siegel, Fully Automated Luxury Gay Space Hellcat, George Homework Bush, Funeral City, 350 billion dead, Gibraltar X Mirage, Sexy Fanfic, Hank Hill's Hentai Hankering, Harry Tomlinson, Helga K, Maximilian Rower, Michael Williams, Mogu, Mr. Big the Cat, Nick Clarkson, Non-Binary with Left Beef, Oingo Zuma, Kuaboingo, Ollie Anders, oh whoa, what's this? Pregnant Seinfeld, PR the Disaster, Rhea Morrison, Roan Berg, Rob Walsh, Single Payer, Sonic Mpreg, Six Arm Sweater, Sophie, Stephanie Ruff, Summergeist, The Tallest Jew, and Tuffster McGee. Thank you all very much for your patronage.
You did it.
You did it. If you want to keep up with the show, you can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/HKIPGTD, on Tumblr at hkipgtd.tumblr.com. You can also plug that into Facebook and Reddit if you want to find our Facebook and Reddit, which are not super active, but they're there if you want to check them out. Our episodes get linked there and stuff. If you have a question that you would like to ask us for us to answer, we'll probably be doing a mailbag soon. I know I've said that every time I've been on the podcast for the last 2.5 months, but I promise this time we'll get one out for you. So send that along either to our Tumblr inbox or to our email, hkipgtd@gmail.com. Thank you, as always, to the Taxpayers for letting us use their song, Evil Men, for our theme song. And thank you, Bisexual Punch Party, for setting up our Reddit. I think that's it. Do I need to thank anybody else?
I mean, other than me.
Yeah, thank you, Eddy, very much for coming back to do an episode. It's been a real treat, and as always,
I got the hot tag. I had to come in and clean house. So.
You're welcome back whenever you want. I think at this point, you've almost been on more than Brooks, who is still apparently a host of this show.
Brooks is learning how to wrestle. He's very busy.
That's true. He's got stuff going on. All right, so I've been Patrick. If you want to follow me, you can do that at twitter.com/pg1497.
Hey, Eddy, aka Junior Mints, aka Thin Squizzy, aka Dijon Targaryen, aka the Anemic Assassin, aka Dummy Thick Valentine, aka Poppy Schmendrick, aka Mr. Fucking Born to Run. And you can follow me on Twitter at Squizpillion and listen to Post Game of Thrones soon, and Yada Yada Boys and Fun Point. And I'm gonna drop an exclusive on you, patreon.com/postgameofthrones, where we do Carry Me Home, which me and producer Kim watch every Jim Carrey movie ever and rank them. We have another exclusive Patreon podcast in the works.
Oh.
So if you want to hear me and Brooks talk about something, we'll stay on the lookout for that.
Well, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a winning formula for a podcast.
It hasn't worked in the past, but we're gonna keep trying until it does.
I'm Caroline, and you can follow me on Twitter at csavage with 2 V's.
Okay, so this has been Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, Not a Threat.
It's a fact.
Just a fact?
Memento Pokemori.